assistance or support. I've not seen one FEMA individual come through this location. I've not seen one FEMA truck in this town.
I haven't seen any either.
I also spoke with Aaron.
Me neither. I have seen not a single federal anything here. Nothing. Not a car, not a truck. I've seen helicopters go over that I know are FEMA because there's those helicopters, you know.
I know you know NC Tyrant Hunter. He was out doing an audit, and he was in Fayetteville, and they had like a 2-3 mile long train come through there loaded down with nothing but military backhoes, bulldozers, front end loaders, all that shit. The Humvees, the APCs. I mean, it was just totally full. Generator setups, all this shit. It was like 2 days after the storm, so it's been real recent.
Right.
And they were just backing up and down the damn tracks. I don't know where the hell that shit ended up. I was like, well, there goes their assistance. That's what the government's trying to save money, and they're gonna truck it in there on train. But I don't see no damn videos of that shit breaking out on the ground nowhere.
No.
Where the hell did all that shit go?
I have theories. We'll get into that.
Aaron Switzer. He is retired special ops from the Air Force. He's the one that's on the ground here guiding these choppers in and out all day until darkness. I asked him basically the same question. Take a listen.
These guys, again, are coming in trying to figure out what the problem is and who's in charge while we're solving the problems. People don't care what's going to happen 2 weeks from now when they're starving. They need food, they need water, they need warmth. They need somebody to give them a hug and say, we're here to help. What do you need? All right. They don't need a government official saying, we're going to fix this.
So obviously 2 very different stories here, Marnie. One from federal officials in FEMA and one from the people here on the ground that are actually just getting the work done. It's kind of impressive. It's heroic, this work that's going on here. Hopefully I'll have some more video to show you. I just went up in a chopper with them just before this hit into Chimney Rock, and the devastation is just seeing it from the air. It's hard to believe. It's just the force of this water, and these residents are now cut off. Their homes are.
I do have one observation to make on this. That man's what, 215, 220 pounds? That's 200 pounds of supplies that didn't go up that mountain on that trip. Just saying.
What?
Look, man, I got cousins up there, and they told, well, I'm not going to name names, but they told me they're part of the search and rescue team, and they were told that if they went up there and brought down survivors, that they might be arrested. But they're supposed to be going up there and marking bodies, was what they were asked to do. But instead of carrying the 46 body bags each or whatever, I don't know how many it is, some certain amount of body bags each one can carry. Instead of carrying those body bags, they loaded up with water, food, menstrual stuff, and like baby formula. And each of them took 2 body bags. And that was it. And they walked into the disaster area because they would not let them drive any closer.
Right.
And that's absurd. So absurd.
Taking 2 5-gallon jugs of gas up in there to his friend that he had cut off. He had to hike in about 4 miles, something like that.
Yup.
Carrying it across all that fucking debris. Shit. That's Helene.
I mean, it's
it's crazy, and I was trying to set up. I personally know, 2 people. One is a resident of one of the areas that got hit, and then the other one is Duke City, who is been up there, sent up there by FEMA or whatever to bag and tag, and so like I'm getting intel on both of these. They couldn't be here tonight. So if you're not busy Thursday evening, like around usual time that we do, Tuesdays or whatever, 7, 8 your time, Sasquatch, if you want to co-host with me, she's going to come up on panel, tell her story, what's going on and all that stuff, like live. Nice. And then I'll have Duke's been sending me pictures and video and information that we can go over, you know, to even just, I mean, there's so much, right? Like, especially for North Carolina, Georgia, everybody, you know, Florida people, not discrediting the disaster that they've gone through, but they were prepared, right? Nobody expected, from what I gather, from in my opinion, for the storm to take the way, you know, for it to do what it did, right?
I've
You know,
been
and
here
then
for 40 years, AJ, and I have
uh-huh.
seen hurricanes come and go, and I've watched them blunder around and blow and wet and all that stuff. I have never seen one come up through the crotch of the Gulf like that.
Right.
Across the Panhandle backwards, that's weird.
Right. And that's what makes it, you know, so devastating. You know what I mean? Because they weren't prepared. They didn't know, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, Florida still got hit, and what, in the next day or two, they're about to get hit with a Category 5.
We'll see what that is when it gets there. That we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And that storm is if ever there's an artificial effect to a hurricane, that storm looks like an artificial effect.
What does that mean? Like, I'm dumbfounded. I saw people in chat talk about dang it, weather manipulation, I guess is the word.
All right. No,
like that the government is like, okay, I'm clueless. I don't know. Like, what does that mean? Dumb it up for me.
I'll take this one. You take up in Alaska. You can't look at it on Google Earth anymore, I'm sure, but they have a facility up there called HARP. They probably 100 radio antennas that can put out somewhat of like, I'm just guessing at the numbers, but whatever a radio station can put out, like was 150,000 watts or whatever, but it's thousands and thousands of watts for each one of those. They direct that up into the ionosphere, bounce it off of that back down somewhere. Okay, they say it's for research and shit like that, but I don't buy that because every country or developed country has one of these or more. You know, so if they were doing research with it, they would pool their resources and work together. Why does everyone need one? You know, so in a way you can do that is like if you heat up an area, like whether it's the ground or the air, you know, you can listen to the weather people. They'll tell you this air is doing this, this air is doing that. So if you put hot air here and it starts,
so they're manipulating the weather to where like these storms will form.
And they have patents on that. They have patents on weather manipulation. They've been doing it since Vietnam. They used to seed the clouds up there and make it rain.
Really? See, I'm new. I mean, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? Like, I've never that.
Yeah. They've got patents on all that shit. But
oh,
like I was
no, you didn't.
Like I was telling Sasquatch, with the proximity of that thing, the largest freshwater, because that's what you need.
Go get me some oil.
Freshwater evaporates better than salt water does. So if you hit the Amazon with enough heat, evaporate a bunch of water, just get it up into the air. But there's like a river that flows across around this planet that's in the air. It is like literally tons and tons and tons of water that's just constantly flowing. You have two major feeds of that. It's the Congo and then the Amazon. You know, they're in very hot areas, so it wouldn't take a whole lot more to make it conducive to massive evaporation, feeding a cell, and then you can control the cell by putting the heat wherever direction you need to make it suck up drafts or create down drafts. Because wherever air leaves, like because it's rising because of heat, cold air is coming in.
So that movie, what is it, Geostorm?
Yeah,
where you know it's the government, you know, has this thing around the earth and they manipulate the weather. Like, that's real. That's what you're saying.
To an extent, that in that movie it was taken to a bit of a ridiculous extreme.
Okay.
But there's more to it. In the past few years, you remember the Lahaina fires?
Yeah.
You remember the Maui blue bit about how some things that were blue just didn't burn? You'd have a car in the middle of the street that wasn't burned, and 2,000 cars around it that were, and it'd be blue.
Mm-hmm.
The thinking behind that was that it was a directed energy weapon that was utilized to intensify the fires invisibly, and that the reason the blue things didn't burn was because it was of a certain wavelength that had less effect on blue things for whatever reason. A curious squirrel says it's a sapphire laser. Yeah, they know more about it than I do. I've just read a whole bunch of stuff on online about like people spurting out about it. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's I'm putting on my tinfoil hat for this one.
Right.
Well, another thought I have too is the fact
What's
that
up, Midlife? What's up, babe?
the fact that they have
sorry.
the fact that they have more than one country that has these harps, if you will. It's kind of like staged around. It's like, you know, if you were going to put gun towers to guard something, that's why you would have them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's another thought that I've had into it. Because, like I said, on a research basis, it's like in outer space. It's, if you believe in such, they all work together in outer space. They all work together in Antarctica or whatever. You know, so what's to say they wouldn't work together in other things as well?
Right. Izzy.
All right, so along with the directed energy weapon concept, high altitude radio research platforms, and cloud seeding, there are a handful of other doohickeys, which the directed energy weapons do lend into this, because the thought process I'm hearing from like the Reddit trolls are that they are basically targeting the ocean ahead of the hurricane in order to create a likely path that it takes. I am waiting to see what happens as it gets closer to Florida, because if that's the case, as soon as that thing comes on land, it's going to hang a left and go due north, because I don't think they're going to be willing to do that thing.
Got you.
Right? They'll lose control of it right there. It's supposed to break up, but let's all think back to Andrew. There was a big to-do made about it making landfall in Florida, and how once it made landfall, everything would be fine. And instead, that motivator came straight across Florida, hung a right, went right up almost an identical path of Helene, and then went back out into the freaking Atlantic. That sucker was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And it tore shit up religiously, bro, like biblically. That was an amazing storm. We just caught the very edge of that one, but it did some major damage across Florida. Major damage. We right now, actually 12 hours from now, we're going to start catching Florida evacuees, and I don't know where they're going to go. All the hotels here are full of immigrants and people who live here. You can't go too far west here, because you run into the well, I mean, they probably got some of that open by now, but yeah, it's nightmare. It's nightmare. Where are they going to go? They're going to have to go to Arkansas. They're going to have to make it to like freaking Kansas and at least western Mississippi, because I mean, Alabama.
Right. Well, and more of them are coming this time than Helen, right?
Yes. Well, Helene didn't actually induce a mandatory evacuation from Florida. It induced a mandatory evacuation along the coastlines, and that was just Panhandle in South Georgia, a little bit of South Alabama. Most of it wasn't mandatory either. They didn't go door to door and kick everybody out, which is what I understand is currently taking place in South Florida. They are evacuating the entire freaking state, as far as I can tell. And I'm utterly astounded. Hello, Izzy Sky. Welcome to my channel. I appreciate you approaching me with caution.
It is. I saw pictures of the highway, and it's still.
Make it work. Is this how you make them?
Yeah, that's pretty good, bro. You're safe now. Congratulations. You don't have to worry about any of those things that it protects you from. I have no idea what. I was listening to some real serious conspiracy theories one night, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I need protection. And I just reached over and wrapped my head in it, made me a tinfoil hat, and that's been sitting right here next to my desk ever since. And I want to make me a tricorn one.
Yeah, that's what I want to make. That one there, I keep in my toolbox, like trash aluminum foil. Yeah, hit the floor. I want to use it.
Kareem, this is the Caucasian Sasquatch channel. You're on AJOT. She's streaming this currently, and that is not a black man. That is a Sasquatch, and he looks a little pale to me to be accused of such things. How dare you, sir? All right.
I missed something.
Yeah. Now dude asked if that was an African American man at the top of his screen. And I was like, no, it's a Sasquatch, and a quite pale one at that.
Demolished. It's really hard to comprehend. So this work that these people are doing here is absolutely vital.
We heard the president a moment ago talk about the unaccounted for, and he seemed to indicate that the good news was that number is less than we had originally thought. What are you hearing there on the ground about people who are not only cut off from resources, but who are missing?
Well, it's hard to say because there's devastated pockets in all around this region. And you talk to one person, they say one thing. You talk to another person. One of our producers spoke to a woman yesterday. She says in the stretch by her home where the river just plowed over everything, she says the officials there are saying that there could be upwards of 100 missing people. You know, I talked to a gentleman here yesterday. He said he was on a mission out of here.
Trolling. They hate
our viewers.
Sorry.
But he saw some deceased, and he really didn't want to talk about it. So there's also that going on.
Yeah. And a lot of volunteers on the ground doing the good work and putting their own lives at risk to help those in need. Rich, thank you for the update. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
All right. So, wait, which one is this? Blue Ridge Rails. That's yeah. Okay. This is not the long. I have a really long one of a guy who did like a time lapse of the whole thing, and I don't know if we're going to get to it, but I've also got the prop wash video coming up here directly, so we'll get into that. So, Redneck Air Force and the Cajun Navy. How about that? Tell me this: why is it that the Cajun Navy was created? Was due to lack of federal capability in rescuing people. And why is the Redneck Air Force a necessity? Oh, it's because of lack of federal capability in saving people. I'm
sorry.
They're not, that's not what they're here to do. They're here to count bodies, baby. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of the other night at freaking the Cajun Navy.
What's up, Anarchy? You're welcome.
Where did that Anarchy? There he is.
Right there.
Yeet. I think most of this is just music over, but it just shows the aftermath, like for the most part, from the air. And this is a lot of the type of footage that they're not really letting get out until after some of the FEMA folks have been through to okay it, so to speak. I mean, this is...
Yeah, that was that town. Guy did a walkthrough on the video, and he walked all the way through the town. It's a real small town because it took him like 15 minutes, his whole video was. And it showed it like half the town. Like you see that part where the river is, it's like gone. There used to be a lot more buildings on the other side. There used to be like face to face all the way down through there. And it's gone.
Yep. And I mean, some of these towns only have one road to go to them. You can only go in, turn around, and come out. There's nowhere else to go. It's just a valley, you know.
It's 3 to 4 inches of mud on whatever is out there, whether it's road or not.
And when that stuff dries, it dries like concrete.
Looks like red clay to me. The sad part is I probably got a whole lot of family that still lives up in those mountains.
You know, Khadija, I'm not going to highlight that on the general premise that I have no idea what it says, but it's nothing personal. Yeah, no, Curious Squirrel is really hard in the paint on that type of stuff. But I mean, we got to have those people. We have to have those people, or else they'll get away with it. Does that make sense? Okay, hold up. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure this entire video is just background music with footage.
What's up, freaking?
What's up, freaking? Welcome to the show, bro. All right, we're going to show that one because there's no actual words in it for the most part.
Yeah,
welcome.
There's footage of the train cars with the axles. You know how thick those steel are? They've been tossed around like toys.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that water was.
That train track used to be on top of that gravel bed there. Like, it's not only not up there anymore, but it's 40 feet away from the bank. That's just wild.
Yeah, but that one guy, he's got like video of, you can see the whole, the axle's been snatched off of the train car. It's laying in one place and the train car's laying over on its side and it's like 5 foot of mud in front of it. It's just horrendous the amount of force that water was pushing.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Out there where my baby mama lived, when I was coming back from up there, there's a spot on that dirt road. I don't know, I guess it's about a half mile down the road, but it goes down into this deep valley and the water level was 25 foot deep on a creek that's usually ankle deep. 25 foot. I stopped at the top before we went off where it scoured all the road away. And I was like, wow, it didn't do enough damage to call it closed, at least not for a 4-wheel drive. I wouldn't want to try to drive a car through there. It's very unlikely you'll make it.
A lot of people don't realize that, you know, you see that stuff in the movies where it shows all the country folks living up in the mountains.
That's a bridge. Hold up. Hold on. That right there on screen are the segments of a bridge upside down, just hanging out.
Yeah,
did y'all see the video of the whole house floating down the river?
The one that got plowed under the bridge? Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one that had a factory building floating down the river. It hit a tree or something, it hit a bridge and got sucked under it.
Yep.
Crunched it like a aluminum can in your hand.
I mean, there's no measuring the power involved in these things. And the worst part is there's no controlling it.
It's like half of those buildings have been ripped off.
Yeah. Freaking amazing, dude.
Like I was saying, once you get up into the mountainous areas where you start hitting mountain, there's like dirt roads that ain't never been paved. I know for a fact, my family, there'd be like 3 trailers full of families up through there in like a mile area where they just made their own road. They ain't never been paved. It's not like a state-owned road or something like that. There's lots of those up there. One you imagine. And every one of them roads would have been turned into a river.
Yup. And that was another thing I was pointing out. Like, one of the things we're running into around here, people who aren't really registered, who have just drug that own 2 acres of property out in the middle of nowhere, and they've just dragged a road in there and drug their camper in there and just lived there with their wife and 2 dogs. We may never find these people. You know, they don't have an address. They go to the town. They go to the nearest town to the post office box, pick up their stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, the place I was out today isn't quite that bad, but it's attached to roads that are that very thing. There's one place over here that's about 250 acres, and it's about 5 acres deep in what's called a what was it, a Revolutionary War tract, one of those huge tracts of lands they gave to the commanders of the Revolutionary War. He inherited or purchased or managed to get a hold of some of it, but somehow he got it on the back side of it, on the non-developed side of it, and cut his own driveway in through there. I have no idea about that guy, and I can't get close enough to that area to check. But I rode by the road that goes to the road that he made, and the bridge is out on this end, so he might be able to get to Dublin. I don't know.
You know that show that got on, I think it's the History Channel, or it might be some Discovery Channel or something. It's Mountain Men with Eustace. Wonder how Eustace made out.
Right. I mean, some people just don't need much. Yeah, I lived out in the area where it took about 30 minutes to get to town, and that's assuming all the bridges were still standing.
Box cars?
Yeah, no, those are tractor trailers. Two of them piggybacking on each other. That's half a cotton house. Wow.
That's after it's receded. Imagine the water all the way up. Because they showed
Yeah, no, I was looking. The line,
10, 15 feet.
The top line seems to go up to right about there. So we're talking second floors. Good Lord.
10, 15 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I live on top of the hill. There's a caboose laying on its side right there. Did you see that? Right here. Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Right there. That is the caboose of a train, and it has no wheel.
That's the one I was telling you about right there. You can see it's got the wheels, the axles are right there in front of it laying down, and it's laying on its side.
That's 12, 14 inches of mud packed up on the side of it.
Right there where all that open land is beside the river, that used to be a train depot right there.
Right, right. Wow.
And they've cleaned it up a lot since then. When I seen they had some of the roads showing. They got backhoes and front end loaders there.
Taylor Sellers, welcome in. As far as I can tell, there is no access to Boone from the ground. They're trying to set up a what do you call it, where you run a rope across the river and drag stuff across. It's like a ferry. But it's not where the road used to be because it's not safe to do it there, from what I understand. Although I'm getting all of this information like third hand from people who have walked out of there pretty much. I was really hoping to get in touch with M tonight. We had actually kind of talked about doing this, and then her email stopped receiving emails. So I don't know.
Joko?
What's up, Joko? Welcome in. Death Pilot? Dude, all right, hold up. Ladies and gentlemen,
houses all right there. Right there on
we have our participation trophy of the night. Death Pilot is definitely getting the trophy for the participation trophy. So a round of applause for our participation trophy winner. Thank you. Golf clap. Disband FEMA. Dude, I think FEMA is just the beginning, bro. There's an awful lot of stuff we need to just get rid of. I hadn't even considered the concept of getting rid of agencies until Carnal Conservative mentioned getting rid of the Department of Education. And he asked me, he said, what did the Department of Education do that's beneficial? I said, well, they standardize all the tests and everything. He's like, that's not what they do. I said, what do you mean? He's like, actually, they micromanage every single classroom. They tell every single teacher what they can and cannot teach. The teacher draws up their what do you call it? Lesson plan from allowed material, and are not allowed to teach anything outside of that. And I'm like, oh, so they're basically indoctrination camps? Yeah, let's get rid of them, folks. We don't need them. But return that to the states. EPA, return that to the states.
Don't need
I don't know why
federal.
I keep pausing it.
They don't need federal shit for that because the federal, it's just one spot, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Washington D.C. The different terrains, like all the way from Hawaii to California up to the upper north.
Yeah, Taylor, I know. I got cousins up there, man. I got a huge family. My family is all through them mountains, and when I mentioned that I would like to kind of know what was going on, not one of them were willing to speak publicly, but they were willing to tell me, like, so a lot of them work search and rescue. They fly helicopters, they do airplanes, they've got big, huge, enormous trucks. One guy actually operates this weird rock crawler thing that he uses for body recovery in various places that you cannot drive to. And I don't know how to explain what this thing is. It's a homemade rock crawling boat, for lack of a better.
So look at Gavin Moore comment. I mean, hit the link. Come in, tell us about it. Come talk about it. Like,
Yeah,
if
tell
you
us.
do work for
That's the
FEMA,
thing.
I mean, let's
We've been told
hear it.
nothing. So, you know, you want to come up and have the say, man. Read it. It's for relief workers, panel, and survivors. I am a survivor. These folks here are willing to sit here and look dumb with me because I don't know. I'm here in the middle of all this trash and I have no fucking clue what you're doing. I haven't seen a single one of you people. You know, you can call it misinformation if you want to. It's the only information I've got. So if you've got better information, feel free to join and let us know something, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am here. Where are you? Get in your helicopter and do something useful. Right? You can do something other than pull bodies out, I'm sure. I don't want to be aggressive, dude, but you're coming at me kind of sideways and I'm not digging it. I'm here wanting people to exchange information. You seem to claim to have information, and yet you're just saying that, no, you're all wrong. There's no information. I'm not going to attack you, bro.
Queen Bird is right on. The one above it.
Yeah. I'll get to you second, Gavin. Gavin, it's not about the concept of FEMA. It's about the way it's being executed at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared to tell people that work, but you don't have to come up on cam and you can change your avatar. I don't. Okay. We'll get back to that video in just a second. I don't have a voice changer for you, but you could probably toss an accent in there. I just want information. That's all it is. I have family members calling me and they're telling me same thing you just said. They're scared to talk on camera because of what might happen. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I'm like, what kind of weird stuff? Like, they don't want us to bring out survivors. They're telling us to leave them in place so that the officials can get there and officially count them. So instead, they're having to pack in supplies into some of these, not exactly communities, but like family compounds and whatnot, because there's a lot of people up in those boroughs that are just not on the map, bro. They're not there. FEMA won't see them because they're not part of the census.
Yeah, like I was talking about my uncle. He owns so much land on that mountain. He's got his whole family there. He's got like 5 to 10 kids that got families living there. And by now, they, like I said, it might be as many as 5 or 10 trailers up in there. When I was there, it was like 3. But we're talking about I was 8 years old last time I was up there. And I'm 54. So they might have paved it, but I doubt it.
No, Tim, we cut our way out. We could go out anywhere we want here. The only places they're really having troubles are places where infrastructure was damaged beyond repair for the immediacy. I don't care if the government ever shows up. Hold on. I got to finish this thought. I don't care if the government ever shows up. To be quite honest, there's an awful lot of people in the Appalachian area that didn't have a whole lot of trust for the government to start with, and I don't think this is helping them along, brother. Go ahead, brother. Well, that's kind of part of the problem. There's so much more to FEMA that nobody gets. No one gets it because, as far as we can tell, it goes elsewhere. This is one of the greatest disasters the Southeast has seen in the past 20 years. That specific area in the past 123 years. And yet again, where are you? Where you at? I haven't seen you. The only thing I see are those freaking Chinooks flying over. That is it. Now, I'm not in a bad position. There are people in this county that are still trying to cut their way out of where they're at. It's been 2 weeks, bruh. We have linemen here from Kansas City. We got linemen from Rhode Island. We got linemen from all the way west of freaking East Texas. Don't see FEMA. Where they at? What up, Storm Crow? Hit the link, baby. You can just scream at me all you want. It'll be great. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, it ain't, or nothing. I got a tinfoil hat over here just in case it gets too deep. But I am saying that saying you work for FEMA could possibly get you a black mark in some channels. I'm not going to hit you. Oh, and this is very serious because people believe anything that man says. All right, that might get you hit because I just don't really care about the political thing. I haven't said a single political thing this entire time, and you just turned it political. Just stop that right off the top. This is not a political discussion. We are talking about the difference between the federal, state, and local reactions to this disaster. As far as I've been able to determine, and from what the people on the ground are telling me, there has been little or no federal insertion into the active disaster area. Hold up, Queen. Not so quick. He hasn't broken the thing yet. We still talking.
What are you talking about?
I
just timed him out for a minute. I just gave him a warning.
Calm down. We're not trying to do that. I'm just saying it's not political. If you try to make it political, that I don't have any patience for. I'm not having a political discussion here. Let's see what we got over here. What's up, Truism? Change your avatar for a second. Just blink it. There you go. That'll do.
Yo, what's good?
What up, baby?
Man, look, first off, I'm glad that you're doing all right. You and the family's doing good. Yeah, I heard about a lot of stuff. Yo, we got to talk about, and I'm glad that you're here. We have to talk about this new insurgent of nibbers just doing a victory lap over the fact that the places that got flooded out in North Carolina and everything else were called sundown towns.
Yeah, that's another political point, and we're not going to dig into that too much tonight. Although I am aware of the TikToks you're talking about.
Yes, so we definitely got to talk because that's.
We can jump into that double deep on your channel, and I'll do the token white guy thing all the way through.
But I'm glad you're doing all right. I'm hoping everybody else who's on here as well. Hoping that
as far as I can tell,
your family doing well.
We're fine. My pop's place is fine. My sister's place is fine. Most of my extended family's fine that are willing to talk to me at least. Right now, I've got cousins that are packing their way up and down the freaking mountains in Appalachia up there in North Carolina, and they only pop surface every 5 days or so. So I ain't heard from them in 5 or 6 days. I'm waiting to hear from 1 or 2 of those. I was kind of hoping they might pop up tonight because when they do come out, they come out to hotel rooms where they have full internet access. And
sweet.
Like I said, they're saying they don't want to do anything live enough, anything capable of telling people who they are. Right. There are potential lithium mines in that area. Not cobalt, freaking quartz is another real big one.
Yeah, it's big up in Tennessee too.
Salute a Bigfoot thing and AJOT. Salute to you too, post.
AJOT, that's American Justice Texas. If you haven't met Truism the Storm Crow, may I introduce my nibba? I don't know how else to explain it, man. You need to go check out one of his shows because it's hilarious.
The Daggerverse is ever expanding and always interesting to explore.
I said potential, bro.
Yeah.
There aren't any lithium mines, but potential is there. There's no reason to believe there isn't lithium there. All the other ingredients are around. What was that?
I was going to say, like, I was going to say that, like, I've seen like TikTok just say that there's like lithium mines down there and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on down there, and it's like there's a lot of tinfoil hat conspiracy things that I've seen, and I'm like, but then I'm kind of like, but I'm like, so I don't know. I'm not from that area.
There's actually news ads on Google. You can go Google about the United States giving or purchasing $92 million worth of lithium.
Oof.
So,
and I think, wow. Holy mackerel. That was a landslide. That's not just water. That's a full-on landslide right there. Holy smack.
That's crazy.
I mean, what do you do? Homie was standing on the edge of his porch. All of a sudden, the mountain came by.
See, the thing about it, where I live at, like, I'm like on the top of like a foothill to like mountains and stuff like that. So like the water goes down on like either side of me.
Right.
So it's not like it would have to do like some serious. We're in the mountains anyway, but it would have to do like some serious flooding, like all the way down to get up to the point where it touched me. And even if it does, then it would just start flowing back down the other side. Like I'm like right at the apex of that.
Right. I'm on the highest spot in my county, and my county is a swampy area in the first place. So
Lord,
in order for it to flood this place, man, it's going to have to flood half the southeast before it gets up to my house. But local flooding can take place if the storm drainage system were to default, but it would only be like 6 inches or 8 inches. And after that, it'd run off into something.
Doggone, that is sad. Is that somebody's barbecue grill? What was that?
Yeah. Like it's a whole stack of cars leaving currently.
See,
there's a bridge.
Yeah, see, because like stuff like this, I don't like we don't go no driving because like we have like some towns that are like where I'm at that are kind of like close to like the quote unquote Delaware River or whatever. And if it starts flooding and stuff, like we don't even go nowhere near on those days when it's raining excessively like that, just for that particular reason.
Well, right here we have hold up. That's funny. Hold it back. That's not funny. There's nothing funny here, but that is still kind of humorous. That's a generator. It's a solar generator box.
That's fucked.
That's kind of fucked up.
That is fucked. Wow.
I mean, that's more than a little fucked up. And they're just going to hang out. I'm sorry. I think I might be on a roof. I'd be on a roof.
Yeah,
I'd be in a community.
They're sitting there talking about what they're going to do. They're making the decision right then.
Ardent Party, welcome to the party. We've got the Mad Catter has joined the chat. That's awesome. And Joker, good to see you, bud. Appreciate you coming through.
Say King Mountain, North Carolina is an old lithium mine. Interesting. Huh. That is crazy.
It is. It just keeps going on. Every few days, another group of people come walking out of that mountain with another group of survival stories that are absolutely epic.
Damn.
Yeah, there goes somebody's house.
That is a house.
Going by.
Goodbye house.
There's one of a building doing the same thing. It's like a warehouse building or something. It's like 4 times as big as that house.
Damn.
It hits a bridge, it gets sucked under into all the hell.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Man. I feel sorry for those people. That's crazy.
That's a
casket riding waves.
That is, oh Lord, that's somebody. Oof. That's somebody loved one that just completely just washed out to wherever.
Well, El Perro and Joker are in lockstep with each other about what the plan is here. I know that there's a full exodus taking place in Florida right now, and I hope they're not planning on stopping in Georgia because most of the everything here is full. All the hotels are already rented up ad infinitum. Because I mean, I know of let's see, okay. Here's a good example. I was at the Waffle House the other day, and this guy come in, and he's from out of town, and he hunts up here.
Okay.
And he come in and he was mad. Oh, he was spitting mad. He was so angry because a tree had fallen on his camper, and his camper was parked up in some of the best hunting area in Georgia as far as he's concerned. And he's going to have to replace his camper. And I said, hey, bud, can I point out something? He's like, what? What are you going to say? And I looked at the guy behind me. I said, how'd you fare? It's like ripped off the back half of my house and lost my truck. Tree fell on it. I pointed at the next guy. How about you? I still haven't found my daughter. She went off to Milledgeville the night before, and we just haven't been able to get in touch with her. Turns out she's all right, by the way. Found that out later. The chick behind her said that her entire roof was ripped off her house, and she had to move back in with her son. And he sat there and blinked at me. I said, you still gonna complain, bud? He's like, that's fucked up. That's real fucked up. And the guy behind me looked at him and said, this is going to be the first hot meal I've had in 4 days. And I stepped out of the way. It was like, y'all go ahead. And he stood there and blinked at the chick behind the counter for a second. And they came over and sat down with me, and we talked about it for a little while. What's up, Duke City crew? Dookie!
Hey.
Freaking amazing.
Another house or something, building.
Did we order this car to go? Because there it goes.
Should we order this car to go?
Like a house and a shed.
Wow. It just keeps going
on. Something I was gonna say, but take this with a grain of salt. People looking for places to go. Anybody who's out there listening want to spread the word. This is the off season for like places like Carolina Beach and Nags Head, places like that. So they probably got vacancies.
Well, that was one of the issues I was bringing up about where are they going to go. They can hit I-10 and head west. I think I-10 is open now. That would be my advice to anybody coming out of Florida. If you try to go north from here, I don't know how far you're going to make it, bro. Half those anywhere near those mountains is mostly shut down to interior traffic. So you're going to have to take the coastal roads, and we're talking 17 or 117, and that's a 2-lane highway from here to like New York or something. And I'm not sure it's open. I don't know that it's open. I suggest you go I-10, take a left, head that way. I would skip I-20 because
okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, good. I would skip I-20 even though it goes the same direction, because you'd have to go right by Conyers and that chemical fire over there. I'd skip it. I'd take I-10.
Hello, Rada.
Also, coincidentally, I-10 keeps y'all from getting anywhere near my house.
I'm back. Somewhere. See, look, Duke City. Right there. Highlight his comment.
Anywhere? I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing right there, bro. That's what my cousins are telling me from up yonder. I got cousins all over Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, all those places. And
oh, I miss C4. C4, hello.
What is going on, someone somewhere? This is I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, even comparing this to Katrina doesn't really work. The numbers are similar, but the terrain is totally different. When Katrina washed out, you get in a boat, you go over there, a boat, just go over there. You try that shit here, you're getting washed out to sea.
Damn.
And you notice I haven't promoted any particular donation, anything throughout this entire stream, and I'm not going to. And that's because there are bad actors in every environment. And especially when people are in trouble and they think they can pretend to help and get money, you will have people that will put up fake GoFundMe's, fake everything. And so rather than trying to do the due diligence myself and getting caught up by making a mistake, it is your responsibility to do the research, to donate to a reputable source, a reputable location. And looking at how Gavin responded when he came in, I'm not sure FEMA's the answer.
Yeah. You're right. You definitely have a point.
Because all he wanted to do was make it a political question. You know, he was towing the blue line. So, no, I mean, we're not. Have I mentioned? And we're not doing politics. That's not what this is about. This is about people telling their own stories. Hey, Truism, have you ever been involved in any type of a hurricane?
A couple of times, but it wasn't to the extent where it really affected too much of the house. Like it was enough where stuff got knocked down. Like even up here, we had like a pretty bad storm, and it crushed one of my composters. Thankfully, now we had another storm where it did hit the part of my house, and it came this close to crushing my generator. Like really, really, like it split right the difference right between my generator and my outdoor unit for my split level, like right between. Whew, tell me God ain't good. But other than that, it wasn't really anything really all that serious and deep. But we do get some pretty good storms up here.
Well, every year, and at least where I'm at in Georgia, typically the way I explain to people is we're just far enough away from both coasts that we have to worry about hurricanes from both directions. But we're far enough away, they generally break up pretty good before they get here. This one didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't at all.
Yeah.
So that's strange.
I'm 10 minutes.
I don't know that.
Exactly, Queen Bird. I mean, he sure was gone. It was just a minute. If he really wanted to voice his, even in chat, you know what I mean, voice what he had to say, he would have stuck around, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I invited him to, but yeah.
No, I know, but I'm saying even if he didn't want to come up here and he just wanted to stay in chat, like if somebody's going to come in here and truly mean that and try to defend FEMA, you know what I mean? They would have stuck it out and been like, okay, don't talk about Trump. We're talking about FEMA kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. And I agree with you on that point. It's not worth it.
Because right now, nobody's doing anything except for the people. The people.
Yeah.
We the people.
Was we talking about FEMA at that time or something? Had we slammed FEMA or something? Because I don't remember that.
All I've said is that I live here. The eye wall went right over the top of my house. That hurricane flattened my entire county, and I have not seen a single FEMA anything anywhere. Now, I don't want them here. We don't need them here. We're doing just fine in comparison to North Carolina. By all means, go do that.
Right.
Go do that. But it's still, there's a dearth of information. And if he has information, I'm willing to listen to it. If it's bullshit information, like don't vote for Trump because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
that's just political. And that's
ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Nothing at all.
Except all of them are not doing nothing.
True.
Hold on. Let me run this one by you. So there were two events planned for the week that hurricane came through. One of them was a Kamala Harris thing. I think it was either South Carolina or West Georgia, East Georgia somewhere, Augusta or something like that. I don't remember. It never happened. The other one was Trump was supposed to speak at a factory in Valdosta. He stopped at some point and made a tweet that he was hoping to make it. He was probably going to be late because they were having to open the roads as he went along. And folks from the community showed up and cleared the way. He was about 2 hours late. And he did his rally there anyway. When he got there, as I understand it, I don't have the video. This was what I was told. He got out, looked around, and was like, "This is no good. We need bathrooms. We need water. We need food. We need stuff for these people to do."
Mhm.
And
Thought about that. Porta
folks that
potties.
heard him say that turned and walked away and called people. And within a couple of hours, all that shit was there, and he did his rally.
Now that's awesome.
Now, when it comes to politics, and this is not a political thing, if you give me the choice between someone who turned tail and run because it was going to be difficult versus someone who said, "Man, that really sucks. I really wish I could do it," and things happened, whether he's full of shit or not, that is a major stepping stone to gaining my support.
Yeah.
To coin a phrase, that's baller.
Ballin'.
Baller. Baller. Balling.
Absolutely. But just the suggestion that, hey, we need some stuff and it shows up. And I'm not saying he spent money on it. I'm not saying he paid for it. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying it happened. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's happened. Valdosta flattened.
Not to get political or anything, but all I can say is that, like, well, you don't have to look at the things that people are doing good. If they're doing good, you'll see it.
There you go.
Facts. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I got a friend of mine lives a little bit outside of town here, and her family owns a big old huge plot of pecan trees. What's up, Cynthia? I sent you a link. I think I tried to. I don't know if everybody got their emails. And she lost 83% of her pecan trees.
Wow.
For some weird reason, she's got oak trees all the way around that field. None of the oak trees fell. All of the most of the pecan trees came down. And that's a regular thing between here and Thompson. Most of the trees that were laying on the road were pecan trees.
Are they still holding a pecan?
That's interesting.
Pecans around here, man. Pecans are what we do for like Christmas money.
I mean, when did they drop? When did the pecans drop?
Just before Christmas. We're getting into pecan season, but it's too early.
They were loaded. That's why.
They're loaded, but not ripe.
I wouldn't mind having a couple of pecan trees.
They're real hard, real dense.
I'll tell you what they do around here, bro. Do what?
I said I love pecans.
Yeah.
They're about a third the size of an apple, and that was probably why they came down, because of that weight and that wind.
Maybe that actually makes a lot more sense than anything else I've heard. But these have all been tipped up by the roots. Yeah, pecans apparently have shallower roots than oak trees, I would guess, because you can have identical trees side by side, and the pecan goes down, the oak tree stands.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, around here, people with a little bit of land, when they have a child born, they'll plant 10 acres of pecans. And when that child turns 18, they get to utilize that 10 acres as their revenue. Sort of, kind of. I mean, it's just revenue. Grandparents quite often do 20 acres. Okay. And when that child becomes an adult, they're able to utilize the revenue from those pecans yearly. And usually there's somebody in the family that runs the collection business. Right? So everybody just receives a check. Smart. What did I just lose? You heard that, right? Somebody pop in and gone?
I had not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Then again, I was chewing on this this beef jerky my wife got me yesterday.
I hear you, boo.
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on, right here. This is the Biltmore Village in Asheville. M's Mad World lives like 500 yards that way, like over there. She lives on the next little ridge, just over the hill. If it's flooding here, it flooded there. Damn. But she's fine, apparently. Pissed. She is very angry. She couldn't tell me exactly why she was angry. She says when she gets full internet, she'll tell everybody, but she ain't there yet.
God willing, she'll be all right.